At the beginning of COP27, this channel community reported that as of September 2022, the global average temperature had been falling at a linear trend rate of minus 0.1 degrees Celsius per decade since January 2015. We also drew attention to the high downward trend being recorded in North America. NOAA has now released the data for October 2022. We therefore provide an update on global average temperature, and not only for North America, but all the NOAA defined regions of the world. As of October, the globe continues its downward linear trend of minus 0.1 degrees Celsius per decade. North America still has a high linear downward trend, now at minus 0.71 degrees Celsius per decade. South America, minus 0.43 degrees Celsius per decade. Africa, minus 0.14 degrees Celsius per decade. Oceania, which includes the Pacific Islands, Australia and New Zealand, minus 0.36 degrees Celsius per decade. Caribbean Islands, minus 0.22 degrees Celsius per decade. Gulf of Mexico, minus 0.28 degrees Celsius per decade. The Hawaiian region, a high linear trend of minus 0.99 degrees Celsius per decade. And the Eastern North Pacific, a very high linear trend of minus 1.16 degrees Celsius per decade. All of these regions show a negative linear trend that is greater than the global negative trend. The entire southern hemisphere is also showing a negative trend of minus 0.19 degrees Celsius per decade, which is again greater than the global trend. But the northern hemisphere shows a lower linear trend of minus 0.02 degrees Celsius per decade, which helps to explain the average global trend. And what explains the low northern hemisphere trend? It is two regions. Europe, which records an increase since January 2015 at a linear rate of plus 0.28 degrees Celsius per decade, and of course Asia, which includes China and India. It has a linear trend rate of plus 0.27 degrees Celsius per decade, very similar to Europe. In summary, global average temperature has been on a negative trend since January 2015. 8 NOAA-defined regions record a negative trend in temperature since January 2015. Both hemispheres record a negative trend in temperature since January 2015. 2 NOAA-defined regions show a positive trend in temperature since January 2015. There are many questions generated by that summary, but perhaps the most important is, given the wide disparity of regional trends across the globe, just what does global average temperature mean? And how useful a metric is it? A later video will look at this issue. For now, we point out the grave danger of focusing on a somewhat simplistic indicator as global average temperature, when separate regions of the world may well face quite different issues. We are particularly thinking of North America and will publish a video on this matter in the next week. Our community combines the topics of globalism, nationalism, climate change, health, and the New World Order. If you would like to join our community, you can find us on locals.com/discover. Just enter the New World Order. This link will take you directly to our site.